Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Older Man's Review. And today I want to hit on a subject that's quite personal because I'm going to give you some of my personal insights into the way I look at my relationship. But two things triggered this thought process. But before I go on, listen, guys, subscribe. Some older man's wisdom right now is going to hit you. It's going to hit you good. It's going to fill you up. Trust me on this one. Because most of the videos that I'm producing is to help you see your future. Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's next 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, I'm showing you your future. If you're younger than me, I'm showing you your future. All right? And this one is all about, are we attracted to our spouse as we get older? And one of the things that spurred this particular discussion was simply because a couple of weeks prior to hearing this from one of my favorite content creators, Chisa Zed, on the Coffee Pod, my wife and I had this discussion about us getting older. Now, I'm 57, my wife is 53. Now, that sort of puts us in that bracket where we're pretty much the same age. Yeah? Now, as she starts to age, and it's so funny because just like every woman who hits her 40s and 50s, she starts to get concerned about her looks. Now, my wife looks very well for her age. She's in great shape. She's a CrossFitter type woman who pretty much keeps her body in excellent shape. She do not want to be seen on camera. She's not interested in being broadcast, not interested in being on social media. So unfortunately, I can't show you her photo. You just have to take my word for it. But of course, every woman asks the same question. Do you still love me now that I'm in my 50s? Are you going to love me when I'm in my 60s and older? And I said, of course, I will. Now, this coincide with the same question that was asked on air by this gentleman here.
Get it?
Can I share a real insecure thought with you?
Sure.
So when I'm all old and yucky, are you going to look at me the way you look at Charo? Do you know what I mean? Or like because we're both old and sucky?
No, it's because we're both old. I've always been attracted
Yeah.
to the women in my age group.
Yeah.
Even now, I don't look at a 25-year-old and go like, damn, that's like a child to me.
Do we believe him, guys? Is Tom telling the truth here?
No.
Like I'm of the, this is so as you age, I'm aging with you. That's the attraction level that I have, you know?
Yeah, I find that I have that as well.
Yeah.
Where I'm into my own age group.
Age group is,
And you're
appropriate.
Like, this makes sense. But I didn't think I would be. Because I thought.
Me too. I
Yeah,
know.
didn't you think when you were younger, you're going to be like, ew,
Yeah,
they're
oh,
so gross?
no.
All right, guys, there's Tom beautifully sifting his way through that very complicated question from his wife.
Yeah, and he answered the same way, right? Now, just like him, I have always been attracted to women sort of in my age range. I know and I keep telling my wife, that is very unusual for most men. Because most men would prefer women younger than them.
Matter. It is character that matters. Husbands who marry wives because they prioritize beauty are 40% more likely to divorce the same wife they thought was beautiful before. It's not a value that is going to have longevity.
Yeah, for me, 3 to 5 years is good enough for me. I didn't want a woman older than me. I always wanted a woman slightly younger. I always was attracted to women on the same sort of age range as I, simply because I'm more of an intellect. And what I mean by that was I want to be able to have deeper discussions with women who had much more rich lives. Now, there's a distinct difference between women who live a rich life intellectually in the workplace versus women who've had their guts beaten out by different men traveling all over the world on another man's dime. My wife didn't take that path. She worked hard in her early years and she got quite educated as well. So basically, I enjoyed the intellectual stimulation that she brought with her. But with that said, let's get back to the looks. Would I still love her knowing that her looks are now fading? Answered honestly, I said, yeah, babes, I find you just as attractive now. And I can tell you the reasons for me. I'm being honest straight up with her. I said, you look hot. You're one hot 53-year-old because you take care of your body, you take care of your skin, you stay out of the sun, you look good for a 53-year-old woman. But does that mean I don't look at the 33, 32, 34-year-old woman? I would. But do I want one of these women now? Do I want a woman at this age when I still have my wife? No. My wife gave me her womb. She didn't give it to any other man. My wife stayed with me during the hard times. My wife stayed with me when I went through my mental shifts. My wife met me and married me when I was at my peak. Since then, my finances have declined significantly because I went through a mental shift in a different way of looking at life, where I can watch my kids grow a little bit, where I can spend more time in personal time with my kids and enjoy life a little bit more. Now, I could afford to do that because I had done quite well in my younger years, because I started young. I started hustling when I was young. But the reason I tell you this is because that means that my wife's lifestyle also dropped significantly with mine, and she stayed with me. We're going into our 19th year right now, and we got 2 beautiful girls, and we have a great life. But the point is, this woman gave me the best years of her life, and she gave me her womb, and she stayed with me and was loyal through those entire times. Well, at least I think so. I'm being an asshole. In other words, I know that she's been good to me. Okay? Yeah, we've been through ups and downs, but that's the reality of life. So I wouldn't trade her in for a younger model, even though I can still attract younger women, 20 years my junior. I can still pull 33-year-olds if I want, because I'm constantly practicing my skills. I know how far I can take it, right? But no, I will never leave my wife. That's the reality of life, man. Duty, responsibility. My duties to her and the kids. My responsibilities to her and the kids. Simple. And so I discipline my brain and my mind, and that is where all the attraction is. In other words, I still see her as beautiful. Now, the good thing about what Shisha Zed said in this video,
when it came to old men, and it didn't matter whether their wife was still alive or not, if they came from a marriage that they enjoyed and powered through, that brought them fulfillment, these men would always talk about how beautiful their wives were when they were younger. And I mean all the time. Like, you'd ask them, like, hey, so, how was marriage? Were you ever married, babe? Oh, yes, I had a beautiful wife. Oh, she was gorgeous. And then they would just go in on talking about how beautiful she was, how gorgeous she was. They could remember her, how she stood out. And they had other things they would talk about, like kids and appreciation for other attributes that their wife had. But the majority of what they would brag about was how beautiful their wives were. And some people may look at that and say, well, don't they think she's still beautiful? They're both old. Looks are fleeting. We're all going to get gray and old eventually. But I always thought that was interesting, but in a very strange way, it makes a lot of sense. And I think there's sort of a trade-off, man. When an elderly man or old man, of course, we're talking about like senior citizens and they're like 80s, 90s, when they realize like, hey, this woman gave me her youth, they tend to appreciate that woman a lot better. They can reminisce to how she used to look like, and they appreciate and understand that, hey, I was given this woman's youth exclusively. And it's almost like these guys, when they look at these women, still saw them as beautiful based on the sacrifice that they made. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. Now, does this mean that those men don't find younger women attractive? That's not true. The data doesn't show that. The data shows that even old men think that younger women are more physically attractive. But I think there's a certain trade of value that women give men, that men recognize when a woman gives a man her youth.
Now, one thing about what Shisha Zed said that I can back up while he worked in these old people homes, or what they call them, retirement centers in America. And I heard the same thing. I heard men who said, man, I love my wife. She's there for me. And they've done 50, 60 years together. That's when women were women, devoted to the man right to the end. I've seen old couples holding hands, wrinkled hands together, no teeth, chewing, eating their soft food together. Because I've visited, when I was young, I visited old people's home when I was a Boy Scout and when I was, doing my civic duties. I helped out in these places. So I understood and I saw my future when I watched the older generation. Unfortunately, the generation of modern women these days, they don't have that insight or foresight.
If your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce, you're not a bad person. So don't let guilt get the best of you.
How old are you, ladies?
I'm 49, 40 fine.
I'm 22.
Has dating gotten easier for you or harder?
I don't know, I'm about to find out.
Why do you say that?
Because I just left my husband.
Oh, God, dating is a freaking disaster. It's not a place you actually want to be in your 50s. They all go for the younger women. So
you know what? It's really freaking hard to be a woman because we really get dismissed from the table.
And I also get that back sometimes, that women are starting to feel invisible at that age. What does it come down to?
So I'm 51 and trying the dating thing. Online sucks, everything sucks trying to date. I need some good advice for dating because so far dating has been horrible.
Because when like I'm single now and I'm 54 this year, and then you think, well, who is going to be interested in me when they can get a 30-year-old?
I'm tired of being alone. I want to share my life with someone. I am just freaking tired. I want my person. Why is it so hard to find your person? Where is he? I'm 53.
And we talked all the way. Then he called me. It's 6 hours. And he called me, so I'm halfway there. And I was like, all right, will you send me the snapshot so I can do the TikTok? And he goes, yeah. And I never heard from him again. And he blocked me.
For women over 40, y'all, this dating landscape is different. No one is really talking to us about how different the dating landscape is. And I'm doing my best to help y'all understand it's limited, okay? You on the clearance rack, okay? You got to pick the best. We're manager special. It's not what it was in your 20s. It's not what it was in your 30s. And some of y'all over 50 that I meet and really still think y'all got options.
I can tell you one thing. Men ain't jumping off the ship to frickin' save a 53-year-old woman. Men ain't freaking rushing to marry a 50-year-old woman. They'll hit it if you look good. But I can tell you, men ain't marrying it. Those days are gone. Men don't do that anymore. Because most men in their 50s and 60s, they're still pulling 30 and 40-year-olds if they're in good shape. That's why I keep encouraging you, gentlemen. Keep yourself in good shape. That is your lifeline. And so you see these women here complaining about, the dating market is hard. Why the hell would they walk away from a relationship? You don't step out in your 40s and 50s thinking that you can jump into a new relationship and find a good man. Look at what these women got to deal with. Take a look at this video.
When people ask me if I regret getting divorced, this is what I tell them. I want to live my life regretting things I did, not things I didn't do. I have lots of regrets about behavior, choices I made that I could have chose better, paths that I took that I might have thought differently about. But because of those, I've been able to use those as a springboard for change.
So you ladies, when you think that, I can jump ship, I'm not happy. Trust me, you think your marriage isn't making you happy? Wait till you step out into the life of a single 40 and 50-year-old.
Divorce my husband. Why did I divorce my husband? I divorced my husband because I was making a certain amount of money. I divorced my husband because I thought I didn't need him anymore. I divorced my husband because I had this senior position at work and thought I held the same position at home. I divorced my husband because I thought I was better than him because I had my degree now. I divorced my husband because I thought a successful marriage meant I was here and he was down here. That is not success. That's fucking sickness. I found myself divorced and out there looking for love in all the wrong places. Fucking this one and that one and that one and that one and this one and that one. And my body count going up and my value going down. I'm just going to call it like a TI is. All the while, my husband done found somebody else building a relationship and building a life with them. I should have stayed married to my husband. I felt like I was on this dark road with no street lights, pitch dark, and I couldn't find my way and didn't know which way to go. I felt lost. I felt like I was walking barefoot on that dark road with pebbles and hot rocks sticking my foot. I felt hurt. I felt alone because every time he and that one and this one and that one left my bed, I was alone all by myself. And which was supposed to be soft and comfortable for me, my pillow, it was now filled with tears. I should not have left my husband, divorced my husband. Why?
It's not a good ball game. I can tell you because I got a lot of friends, even in their late 30s, who can't find a good man. And when I say can't find one, they don't want the man on their level. They don't want the man on their sexual marketplace value level. They don't want him. They always looking for a man above him. And they're usually looking to replace their existing husband, who's usually at their level or slightly higher. And now they want to monkey branch up to a better man? Wow. Most of these women are so delusional. And when they pull the trigger and they get out there on that dating market, they run to TikTok and they start to cry about how hard it is. Make it make sense. Anyway, guys, this was my general review. Shout out to Chisha Zed. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, man. Okay. So, guys, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.